Ladies and gentlemen, it is time. Grab a cold one, crank up the volume, and join the show. Welcome to NBNR Live. And here we go.
It's no block, no rock. Go Big Red, indeed. No block, no rock. Episode 226 coming at you from the NBNR studio in Omaha, Nebraska. Nebraska Brewing Company, where we live. The main brewery, the largest brewery in the state, is one of our main sponsors. Cardinal Pale Ale. It's been a while since I've drank one of these suckers. And I don't regret cracking it open and, enjoying it. It's been a while.
I
usually do like the coffee stout, which is excellent.
You haven't had pickle in a long time.
Yeah, because it's not in the freaking fridge. This would be the perfect day for it, though.
Yeah, I mean, speaking of the perfect day, Connor is not here today. And
the perfect day.
That is why we don't have any beer in our fridge.
Are you saying that it's a perfect day because...
No, I'm just saying it would be a perfect day if Connor was here because we would have beer in our fridge and you might have a pickle fight.
Thank you for clarifying that.
I had to clarify.
We don't want any pod beef.
No.
All right, what do you got?
No, I'll do the beef to his face.
Fair.
All right, I am drinking the EOS Hefeweizen. Also want to give a special shout out to our other sponsor, Draft Top. This is a sweet thing to use with your beers if you like craft beers or if you just like drinking, Busch Light or whatever. You take this, throw it on the top of your can.
Twist.
Get a little twist.
Twist.
Yep. Don't squeeze it too hard like I just did and drip on your lap. But if you do so, it takes the top right off your beer.
Boom.
And then you can just sip your beer like it's meant to be.
Easy access.
This is EOS Hefeweizen. It's the best beer at Nebraska Brewing Company. I took the last one. Kyle.
Selfish.
Yeah, I second that. Best beer at Nebraska Brewing Company, the EOS Hefeweizen. It's the automatic go-to for the guy in the corner over here.
Mm-hmm.
So
on the ones and twos?
On the ones and twos, yes, sir.
All right.
So that's what I'm drinking.
Throw it over to our special guest, Chris Basnett of the Lincoln Journal-Star.
What's up?
What's going on?
How are you today?
I'm great.
Yeah.
I've also got a Cardinal.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
It's delicious.
I'm not alone.
Thank you. Cheers to that.
Yep. Oh,
thank you.
No regrets?
None. How could you have regrets on a day like this?
Freaking A.
Well, you specifically said you were at home with your son, your 4-year-old all day.
This is like a vacation.
Yeah, you get to come in here, drink beer, eat pizza.
I feel like I'm basically in Hawaii. Right.
Yeah, it looks just like it.
Yeah.
I've never been more. I'm in this relaxed in weeks, months, maybe 4 years. My son's 4.
It's a privilege that we could provide that service to you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
Yes. All right. Since Connor's not here, Mike, you got to help me. World class
in every glass.
Okay. Matt Rule's presser last week. It's pretty interesting. I would say one of the main talking points surrounding that was what he said about in-state recruiting. How, I think some people, I guess, don't ask me why, have maybe taken issue with how he's handled in-state recruiting. And he kind of snapped back. He kind of fired back a little bit, defending himself. And, I'm not going to get into everything that he said, but Chris, you cover a lot of high school sports around here. I guess just what are your thoughts regarding what he said about his in-state recruiting?
I'm so mad at Matt Rule.
Yeah, me too.
What's he thinking? Why can't we have 105 guys from, DeWitt on the team?
Yeah, Harvard, Nebraska.
Harvard.
Yeah.
Shattering.
Yeah.
Well, I just want to name Nebraska towns.
Cozad,
Lexington.
Valentine.
Shelton. Yeah.
Scottsbluff.
Alma. Ravenna.
All right, I'm done.
That's how we did it in the 90s, and
that's how we won all those titles.
That's how we did it in the 90s.
Every single one of them. Come on.
No, but seriously.
Tommy Frazier from Illyria. You don't remember that?
You must be living in a wholly different reality from me. And look, and he even brought that up. He said, look, we won. And who was the quarterback for a lot of those wins? A guy from Bradenton, Florida.
Yep.
It's like, as long as you're winning, nobody gives a shit.
That's right.
So just win.
His backup wasn't from around here either, as I recall.
That's right. Well, I mean, Goodland, Kansas.
Kansas.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's like the classic Nebraska fan thing where you're kind of caught between the past and the present, right? Like the old school, you want all the Nebraska kids because the roster's always been 150 guys and you have room for them. And you're going to get a few out of that group that go from walk on to superstar or walk on to contributor. That's not the reality anymore. I mean, it's just not. And people aren't going to like that. And that's fine. But and it's like Matt Rule said, you have to recruit really, really good football players.
Hey, can you help us beat Ohio State?
Can you? Yeah, I know you could pull around the end against Elm Creek and knock the 140-pound linebacker on his rear end. Can you go get the safety from Ohio State when we're trying to run pin and pull?
Yeah,
and get 3 yards? Probably not.
No,
and that's not to say there isn't talent in Nebraska. Of course there is. Iowa State certainly thinks there is.
Yeah,
and maybe those guys will turn out to be stars. We don't know, but it's I hate to use this cliche, but it's a new world, right? It's NIL, it's 105-man rosters. It's being selective with who you take, whether it's down the street, across the state line, whatever it is. So if you're going to take a Nebraska kid, if you're going to take a California kid, an Iowa kid, he better be pretty darn good. And you better be pretty darn sure he's going to contribute to your team, whether he's starting, whether he's backing up, whether he's a guy that can come in an emergency and play and contribute. You better be darn sure you can do that. And you combine that with NIL, pay for play, when the settlement gets reached, whenever that is, that extra $20 million a year, kids are going to want to get paid. And again, it doesn't matter what you think of it. That's what's going to happen. And so you can't just take all these kids and say, well, sorry, 3-star from Oklahoma City or 4-star from Florida. We can't take you because we got to take this guy that went to Tri-County or went to Omaha Central or wherever they went. It doesn't matter. So it's, what Matt Rule is saying makes sense. You have to get as many good players as you can get and try and develop them and hang on to them.
The sense that I get is, and this isn't just from the presser last week, it's been a kind of overarching theme with him, is I just get the feeling he doesn't give a fuck anymore. And he doesn't care about the outside noise and all that. He said he serves one master, and that's winning, which made me.
You liked that.
Tingly.
Oh my.
Yeah. That's why it's so cold in here. It's 85 degrees out.
Why does my pants have a tent?
Oh.
I'm
uncomfortable.
Oh my God. Hi, Chris. Come here.
No, I will not.
Want to come closer?
No, absolutely not.
Why did my computer go up?
I'm going to need 2 or 3 more of these beers. We won't be going that far.
Well, okay. But okay, let's get serious now. Because this is a very serious thing.
Yeah.
People are angry.
They're angry.
Of course they are.
Yeah. So he comes here, right? And the sense I get was he really wanted to endear himself to the fan base. He wanted to, appease us and charm us.
Bringing the fullback back, right?
Right. And
you got to win the press conference.
Yeah.
The first one you have to get is the press conference.
And I think with some of the guys that he got from the state, we could name a handful of wide receivers that came here that aren't here anymore. Mm-hmm. And I think he's like, you know what? Fuck it. I tried it already and it didn't work. So I just have to worry about winning. That's it.
Pretty refreshing compared to the last 2 or 3 coaches.
Especially that last one.
And
it would be one thing if Rule didn't try at all, but he did. He recruited more guys in his not even 3 years than Scott did in his whole tenure.
Yeah.
So you cannot tell me that he did not at least try to get these kids in.
And look at where those kids are transferring to. They're not transferring to Ohio State,
no.
Michigan, USC. And again, I'm not trying to knock these guys.
Right.
But it is what it is, right? That's the reality. They're not leaving Nebraska because they've got a big NIL deal at Penn State. He did try, and it's refreshing to hear a guy say, "I'm here to win." And we talk about Scott and Beep, who,
Good.
And you talked about Matt Rule serving one master, winning. How many masters did Scott Frost have to answer to? How many masters did Mike Riley have to answer to?
Mm-hmm.
Whether of his doing or not, and that's just how it was. And that's the reality of the situation. So in my mind, it's refreshing to hear somebody say, I'm here to win, and it doesn't matter if we get a kid from down the street or on the coast. Like, I want guys that help me win. And I think it's going to take some time to, turn the tide among the fan base in that regard to take on that line of thinking, because just like we just talked about, there's always going to be that faction of the fan base that says, well, you have to get the kids from, Humphrey or wherever. I'm going to try and name as many Nebraska towns.
Humphrey's a new one.
Yeah. So, but yeah, you have to get guys that help you win. And again, it comes down to the modern era of college football. Those stories were fun 20 years ago, 30 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
They're not fun now when TV contracts are handing out tens of millions of dollars and you have to pay out tens of millions of dollars. And coaching contracts are tied to how many games you win and how many playoffs you get to and all those things. You have to take the guys that help you win. And if that means they're not from Nebraska, that means they're not from Nebraska. And it's just refreshing to hear Matt Rule come out and basically tell the fan base, look, this is how the big boys do it. And if we're going to be among the big boys, we're going to do it this way.
Well, and with the 105-man roster, like, you have to be selective.
Yeah.
And that's all Matt Rule's saying. Like, you could see in that press conference, I mean, he wears his heart on his sleeve. Like, he was very emotional about the fact that these walk-ons that are still on the roster that stuck around through mat drills and all these things. I mean, he wanted these kids to get grandfathered in. Like, they had flirted with the idea of grandfathering in this class and then going to the 105 after the season or whatever it's going to be. And he gets the news, or I don't even know if it's official yet, but he had an inkling that that's probably not going to happen. And these guys are going to play their last snaps, and all of a sudden just sparks and says, oh, we're actually going to do a scrimmage so these kids can actually play at Memorial Stadium one more time, or for the first time ever, whatever it is.
Yep.
So these Nebraska fans that are stuck in the past, that live in the 90s and all that stuff, the glory days, it happened on farms and all that. Some of that is true, but in 2025 and moving forward, that can't happen anymore. Now, if there's a big farm boy that is getting recruited heavily,
Cam Jurgens,
right? Like a Cam Jurgens who
just signed a huge contract.
Yeah, if Cam Jurgens is walking through that door, you're going to 100% entertain, recruit him, make him come to camp. That's what Matt Rule was emphasizing, was have them come to the camps.
Yeah.
Just because they're from Nebraska doesn't mean they're going to get my offer.
Yep.
Good. Thank God.
Good.
It shouldn't just be assumed that since I live in Elmwood,
Valentine. Yeah.
I already said Valentine.
Sorry, Elmwood.
I was going to say Elmwood Murdoch.
Yeah.
Yeah. Rule should have been a bit. Come to camp.
Come to camp.
Let's
see how good you are.
It's really cool that Matt Campbell offered you. Cool.
Yeah. Come to camp.
Why don't you come to camp?
Show me you can play.
Yeah. I don't think, and he even said himself, I don't think that's too much to ask. Like, I'm sorry, but the standards here, as good as Matt Campbell has been at Iowa State, the standards here at Nebraska, even though we have sucked worse than them, are far greater than they are in Ames. So I'm sorry if I don't offer you right away. I'm trying to beat Ohio State.
Mm-hmm.
Iowa State is trying to beat,
Baylor.
I was going to say, like
TCU,
and these are fine teams, but they're not Ohio State.
No.
Yeah.
Kyle.
And I think, like, Chris, to your point, you had talked about, like, okay, yeah, you can do this right at maybe Bellevue West, or you can do this at anywhere here in the metro or in the state of Nebraska, but can you do it against Ohio State? Can you do it against these big time teams?
Exactly.
And I think, like, for me, I've always used, like, the eye test. I've always used the, like, okay, who are you playing against? How does it look? And I work in sports as well. I cover, all the high school teams during football season, and you get to some of these places, and, like, I remember a couple of years ago, like, Millard South going down to Arizona and getting absolutely schwacked by somebody. That's where Mike and I went to high school. And you're like, okay, where's the talent where's the talent level in the state of Nebraska compared to, like, some of these bigger football states?
Oh, yeah.
And we talked with Mike Sauter a couple of years ago about just that, was, like, the talent level here compared to some other places. Like, he might be a 4-star because he's wrecking people in Millard. Yep. But then, you get up to college football and it's like,
different ball game.
Yeah, like, maybe you probably should have gone like D2 or, whatever the case might be. But
a name that reminds me, speaking of Millard South, like, when we went there, like, Bronson Marsh was the best player in the state of Nebraska.
Yeah.
Dude was a beast.
Total
gray shirted at Nebraska.
Yeah.
Ended up playing at Kearney.
Yep.
I finally got to play quarterback at Kearney, but, like, that's just a talent discrepancy.
Yeah.
And I know the talent is getting better in the Metro, so I'm not going to shit on the kids that are here, but just like talking about how good like a player like Bronson Marsh was in Class A, and in this area, and then comparing him to everybody else, the talent gap is it's different than it is in the South.
And it tells you how good you have to be to play in college.
Right.
Whether it's UNK, Lincoln, Hastings, it doesn't, you got to be so good. You have to be so good. Bronson Marsh is a great example.
Yes.
He was so good in high school. And he
Gatorade Player of the Year.
Went to UNK and was fine.
Yeah.
Was fine in Division II. Was a solid D2 player. Yeah. He never would have played in Lincoln.
No.
And he was a great high school player. That's not to say these kids in Nebraska aren't great high school players. The team at Millard South they have great high school players. Jet Tamal is unbelievable.
Yeah.
All those guys are unbelievable. Will he go to Iowa State and throw for 3,500 yards as a freshman?
I doubt it.
Okay, let me pose this to you, because a modern player who absolutely showed out in college, Xavier Watts, right? Burt kid goes to Notre Dame.
But we recruited the shit out of him.
And that's where my point is like some kids just don't want to come here.
Yeah, that's fine too.
And look, a lot of these Nebraska kids are not originally from here anyway. And if your height in 8 years is the Pinstripe Bowl, sorry, that's just not good enough right now. Win more. And Xavier Watts might go, And a question, not a question, but I think a statement on my part is, if Xavier Watts would have come here instead of Notre Dame, he's not doing what he did there.
He's not winning any postseason awards.
No.
He's not winning the Thorpe Award at Nebraska. I'm sorry. It's just not happening. And maybe that's a coaching thing, but some kids just don't want to come here. So start winning. And that's what Matt Rule said. Thank God.
Yeah.
And I say that Husker fans are mad. I'm saying that in jest because I sincerely think what?
Chris, can I have you pull your microphone just a little bit closer?
Sorry.
Should
I put my lips directly on
the
the
microphone? We always tell our guests, kiss the microphone.
I would love to do. He's been talking about it. I feel like I should kiss.
You're going to get me going again.
Yeah.
No, but I say Nebraska fans are mad, and I say that in jest because I sincerely think the vast majority of fans, they heard what Matt Rule said, and they agree.
Oh, yeah.
100%.
Deep down.
Like, there's 98% of our fan base that went,
yes. Yes. Pants off time. Yeah.
Yeah.
Pants tent.
Pants tent.
Yeah.
If we're even wearing pants. Might not be. I don't know.
I mean, like Jared, like you said, like this isn't the first time he's got up in front of the press or the media. And you can kind of tell there's like a mindset with him where he references like, hey, everything that we've been doing hasn't worked. And that's why I'm here. Yep. And if I continue to go down that road, I won't be here. He has said it since he got here. He's like, he gets asked a question and he says, well, to be honest with you, like they focused on that for years and it didn't work.
Yeah.
So I'm not doing that.
What did Rule say? He said, other coaches at Nebraska have served other masters.
Yeah.
And they ended up on the street.
Yep.
Basically jobless.
Yeah.
And, they get a nice little buyout and they move to Arizona and golf a lot, but
sounds amazing.
And you find a job a few years later and everybody loves you.
And they go move to Florida and golf a lot.
Golf in Florida.
You know what's crazy though? Is Matt Rule. I think I just lost my train of thought. Holy shit.
Matt Rule.
No. So last week we talked with Mitch Sherman about Matt Rule, and he said, I could see Matt Rule not being the head coach of Nebraska in 5 years. And Matt Rule continuously, even since he got here, talks about how if he doesn't do X, then he's not going to be the coach.
Yeah.
Or what did I say last week? Evan Cooper is going to be the coach of Nebraska. Like, he has talked about repeatedly that he is setting the stage for someone else to be the coach. And it feels like these press conferences as of late, you could feel almost the frustration. I can see why.
The sense of urgency.
Yeah, like somebody like Mitch would be like, I don't see that he's going to want to keep doing this 5 years from now because college football is changing so much.
Mm-hmm.
It's true.
I've been in enough of those press conferences to know, and I haven't been in any of Matt Rule's. So I was off that beat before Matt was hired, but I've been in enough of them to see body language and understand body language, and seeing Mike Riley up there or seeing Scott Frost up there, and the way those same questions come out, and it wasn't an attitude of defiance from them. It was almost a resignation of, here we go again. I've got to spout some BS about it. And Matt Rule is basically saying, no, I'm not going to stand up here and do that because I'm tired of this crap. And like, this is how we're going to do it. I think that goes back to what he said last week at the press conference. He's getting to a point where he hears these same questions, and it's part of the job. Like every coach hears these questions every week and every time they do a presser, but it becomes a deal where at some point, one of these coaches has to finally, I'm caping for a man that makes $8 million a year right now, which is a little weird, but it comes down to, at some point, a coach has to put his foot down and say, listen, like, it hasn't worked, which is what he said. It hasn't worked. We have to do something different. And I'm going to do something different. And if it doesn't work, I won't be here. If it works, great. I still might not be here because the NFL might come calling again or whatever comes calling again. So yeah, it's interesting to see the tone and the body language from Matt Rule in these press conferences compared to, the last couple coaches, especially.
Yeah. I mean, we talk about Nebraska nice,
Mm-hmm.
He
doesn't give a crap about that. He's not from Nebraska.
No,
that's true. But
he's got that jersey.
He's from Jersey.
Yeah, no, but I'm saying here's what he's realizing. Okay. He's realizing that the Nebraska nice thing
doesn't win you football games.
It doesn't win you football games, but it's totally hypocritical because when it comes to our football team, we ain't nice.
Yeah. Go on a message board Saturday night.
Read a message board. Read Twitter after Nebraska loses another one score game. And then see how nice Nebraska is.
Go on Twitter when it's like halftime of a game Nebraska wins and they're trailing at halftime. And see how nice Nebraska is.
Halftime of Nebraska Purdue this past year.
Oh,
what do you think?
Oh man.
What are those DMs looking like of some of those players probably even, right?
It's like that dog in the meme with the dog in the room that's on fire. Like,
this is fine.
Everything's fine.
It's okay.
It's fine.
Yeah, that's Ed Foley on the sideline. It's fine.
Yeah.
Not snap better. Come on.
Yeah,
what have you been doing?
We were in West Lafayette. And
this comes up every
I know, but it's still hilarious.
It's funny.
Like we're in West Lafayette at the Purdue game, all of us, and I look down at the sideline. Everybody, the entire team, staff is in the locker room, except for Ed Foley and two long snappers, and he's sitting there in their ears screaming at them. I take a picture, put it on Twitter.
I think he had a whistle around his neck too, and it was just a whole thing. And it was like, bruh.
Like, I think it's a little late, buddy.
Yeah, maybe we should figure that out on Wednesday. I don't know. Oh, God, Purdue. There's a place where I've seen some stuff. That's a whole other story.
West Lafayette, man.
Yeah.
Freaking tripping on sprinkler heads and all that shit.
Oh. Visiting locker rooms it's like the size of this little.
No offense to us.
No offense.
Hey, this is great. This is great for 4 people.
This is probably nicer than the visitors' locker room at West Lafayette, if I had to guess.
Okay. Anything else about Rule in-state recruiting?
I mean, kind of. We talk about how Matt Rule isn't going to recruit the kid from Podunk, Nebraska town, right? Unless they come to town, right? Or unless they come to camp. But there is a guy that the previous staff missed out on, and that's Chamar Brown, the kid from North Dakota State. Mm-hmm. Nebraska's going after him. I don't know if you ever covered him.
I've seen him play.
You've seen him play
in high school. Yeah.
Like, do you think Nebraska should get another running back in this room? And do you think he would be a good fit?
I'll answer the second question first. Yes, he would be a good fit. And look at what he did at North Dakota State.
Right.
You want to talk about a good program?
You better be able to play.
You better be able to play. If you play at North Dakota State, he's the freshman of the year in FCS. Mm-hmm. Dude can play. And I will never forget watching him. They played Bellevue West, first game of the season, his senior year, whatever it was, 2-3 years ago. And the first carry, I went, holy shit. Like that dude. Because this is like Bellevue West's pretty good.
Yeah.
And he was trucking dudes. I'm going, how is this dude in high school? Like he looked like he could have started for North Dakota State when he was a senior in high school. Like the physicality was just off the charts. And then he goes to North Dakota State and it translates. And again, it's North Dakota State. You better be able to be physical, run between the tackles. North Dakota State. Dude rushed for 1,000 yards for North Dakota State. He can play at the Big Ten level. There's no doubt about that. So yes, Nebraska, I think, should go after him. He would fit here. Will they? I don't know. I mean, we've heard Matt Rule say it, right? We're happy with where we're at, but we're also, but there's always the caveat.
Always a caveat.
We'll take a look around. in case some dude from North Dakota State goes in the portal
That's from
is
Omaha.
From Omaha.
Oh, we know that town.
And
We know that one.
We know that one. And is rushed for 1,000 yards.
You want me to recruit an in-state kid? Okay.
Here he is.
You're gonna get mad now.
Here he
I
is.
can never please you, fucks.
It's always something. The guy's name is. He has a sweet name, Chamar Brown.
Chamar.
Like that's a running back name.
Yeah.
Chamar Brown.
That's
It's
a
true.
Sunday name.
That dude ain't playing left tackle.
No.
He's lining up in the eye.
Yep.
And he's going over the top for 6 against Ohio State to beat Ohio State.
Beat Ohio State.
Beat Ohio State.
God damn it.
Do you think he would just because you sounds like you know his game pretty well? Like, do you think he would fit well to replace like Dante Dowdell,
Yeah, maybe not as
like a power back?
Yeah, maybe not as big.
Okay.
And he's like, again, if you walked in the door right now, we all go, holy shit, look at that dude. But he's a dude.
Mhm.
He's a dude. And he looked like a dude in high school. He looked like a dude for the best team in FCS, a team that probably could have would beat Nebraska if they met on neutral field. We laugh, but
No,
Probably
seriously.
true.
there'd be some sweating in the fourth quarter,
Yeah.
at least.
Oh, yeah.
So
Mhm.
no, he can play, and he could play that role where if you're looking for a physical between the tackles guy who understands how to play that. That's the other thing. He understands how to play that style of football. Like, it's one thing. How many Nebraska running backs have we seen get in the hole and dance around, shuffle,
Mhm.
sidestep, try and
Sure.
get out of the way, and they get dropped for a 2-yard loss? Marty, that's what they called him in high school, Marty Brown. Charmar isn't doing that. Like, he's going. He's finding a lineman's
North-south.
backside, and he's putting it. It's the old school, put the hand on the lineman's back, and I'm following you right up to the linebacker, and then I'm going to go truck a safety.
I wonder if if his running style would suit the Holgerson offense.
That's the big question.
That is
Right,
because
I
now
think.
they're going to more like we need receivers, like the running backs,
Versatility.
Yeah, they need to be
Yeah.
versatile. They have to be able to catch.
Can
the
you
ball.
catch the balls?
Yeah, can you pass block?
protect?
Yeah, like I don't know. I feel like on paper it sounds like a great addition. It worries me a little bit if Nebraska, if Matt Rule, I would be happy if he grabs him.
Exactly.
But if Matt Rule goes away from what he says about Quentin Ives, he's been shoving Quentin Ives down our throat
Yeah.
for the last 2 years.
Yeah, enough Quentin Ives.
Come on now.
Well, that was one of the questions I had on here was, if you end up getting Marty, does this contradict
Kind of.
Matt
Yes.
Rule's love for
Yes.
Quentin Ives? Because
Yes.
you're
bringing in a guy
delaying
that
his
could
playing
maybe
time.
start.
Like, is he better than Emmett Johnson? Maybe.
He's got proven production. So does Emmett Johnson especially at the end of the year.
Mhm.
But yeah, and I think Emmett Johnson showed what you can do in that offense and was a physical runner,
Mhm.
would run inside. It wasn't like they was toss sweeps and get him on the edge. They would run him up the middle, run him between the tackles. So I think, and look, Dana Holgerson's smart enough to know what he's got. If they brought in Charmar Brown, wrecking ball, Holgerson's going to go, you know what? We can put in an ISO.
Yeah.
We can put a fullback in. We can pull a guard.
We got a few packages for you, Marty.
I can figure out how to run between the tackles with a 6'2", 220-pound dude that likes to create contact.
You mean instead of Carter Nelson jumping over the top, it could actually be a running back?
Yeah, how about that? What a thought.
Local guy.
Well, and that's why I think if they were to get Chamar, I think he would be RB2 right away, just because Emmett Johnson has that versatility, and it's,
a lot of that might come down to just how long does it take. We're getting into some deep hypotheticals here, but a lot of it might come down to how long it would take Charmar Brown to pick up the offense, because it would be a different offense.
Yeah, sure.
The runs are probably going to be similar.
Yep.
But it's verbiage and, like you said, pass protection. Can you go out and catch a swing pass or be an outlet? A blitz, a hot read, things like that. So that part of it would probably keep him at running back too. But who's to say 6 games into the season it's not 15 carries for Marty Brown and 15 carries for Emmett Johnson? And then all of a sudden Marty Brown's got 18 carries and it's 12 for Emmett Johnson.
Yeah, that's exactly how it would go.
Yeah. And again, hypothetical, he hasn't even taken a visit here yet.
Thursday.
Big day.
Big day. If you're a Charmar Brown fan,
Yeah.
lock in on
Listen,
Thursday.
and I will be if he commits. I'll
Yeah.
be the biggest
I
Chamar
know
Brown
you
fan.
will.
Yeah, I'm gonna.
You guys just see Quentin Ives and Emmett Johnson sitting in the corner.
Who's that?
watching him walk by.
Well, yeah, it's the Squidward meme where he's looking out the window
Yeah.
and he sees Patrick and SpongeBob outside playing.
bubbles or whatever it is.
There's Quentin Ives looking up at Chamar and Emmett.
But it's totally like it's such a college football thing, right? Like Quentin Ives. This dude can play. He's so good. Marty looks pretty good.
Oh, that guy looks like.
I might go get that guy.
Well, and again, another meme I'm going to reference is the guy who looks back at the chick and
Yeah.
the girlfriend's like,
Yeah, exactly.
He's like, yeah.
Yeah.
But again, I think it's just important to like lay out expectations. If they were to get Chamar, okay, he's not bell cow. He's not getting 30 carries.
Unless
Like none of this is happening. Okay.
Mhm.
There is not going to be a game. And I don't know if I'm going out on a limb with the hot take here. You're not going to see one game where one of our running backs gets 30 carries in a game.
Wow. I will disagree with you.
Would you?
I bet there's at least one game.
You think?
Cold weather game.
Okay.
Purdue, where it's like 17-13. And they
Illinois.
Illinois. This, one of those
Yeah.
bullshit games they should win by 3 touchdowns, and they don't.
Mm-hmm.
Listen,
Man,
I want it to happen. I'm a big run the ball guy,
Yeah.
But I just think with the amount of backs that you've got, and you're with Holgerson, he's not going to commit to the run as much as we probably want him to. Let's be honest. Well, Holgerson's smart enough to adjust. Yeah, I get it.
you
But
got a pretty
also,
good quarterback to throw it around if you need
You
to.
do have
Yeah.
that guy.
yeah, and look, you got a 5-star, and you have to take advantage of his skill set. Dang it. Okay, hold on a second. I had one more.
That's good. I got to crack this beer. So
Oh yeah, put it right in the camera.
Let me get.
Look at that.
Yeah.
Look at that.
It's not my first rodeo. It's my second rodeo. It's not my.
Okay.
Well, your
now-
first rodeo was the first beer you had.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, I hate to reference. Well, you know what? Do I hate to reference this guy? Because after all, he did beat Nebraska by like 50, and his team went to the college football playoff. Kurt Signetti. This is kind of like the Kurt Signetti thing, is targeting a proven lower level guy instead of someone who's been rotting away.
Mm-hmm.
Third place on a Power 5 depth chart. Like, who do we prefer?
Exactly.
And, I'm probably going to take the production, even though it was at a lower level.
I'll take the dude that's wearing a big ring after he rushed for
Fair.
1,000 yards.
I'll take a winner.
I'll take a winner.
Yeah.
Sure. Who actually contributed to the winning
Yeah.
instead of an Alabama guy who probably got a ring,
Yeah.
but didn't play.
Saw 40 snaps. Yeah.
I mean, well, no, and somebody who didn't see 40 snaps. I'm saying
Well, yeah.
someone that's just been toiling.
He's just
at the bottom.
there. Yeah. He's
Yeah.
just there. Yeah. And if I may, Kirk Sinetti, I think that's a good parallel to draw to the way Matt Rule is kind of the tone Matt Rule has taken on in these last few press conferences, kind of very direct
Yeah.
and straightforward. And whether you like the way Kirk Signetti does it or not,
Mhm.
you know who he is, and you know exactly what he's going to do because he tells you. And he said before this, what did he say before the season? We're going to win.
Google me, actually.
Google me.
Yeah.
And guess what?
And he's
We
willing,
probably should have,
Yeah,
right?
we probably should have.
and he's willing to say out loud, SEC, Big Ten, everybody else.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I'm sorry, people give Matt Rule shit all the time because the things he says
nationally.
Mhm.
Yes, nationally, because he'll say things that are a little risque.
Yep.
But it's not. It's
really
it's
not,
the elephant
though.
in the
It's
room.
not.
Everybody knows it.
How dare he say what we're thinking? How dare he?
Yeah. The only people who disagree are the people in the Big 12 and the ACC.
Yep.
Matt Campbell is
Pac-12
The
RB.
Pac-12 and those two teams,
Yeah.
like they're probably really mad.
They're probably super mad.
just got to start winning now.
Just win.
Just because
It's so easy.
Please.
Just win. It's so easy. It's just not. It's just don't.
how long have we
lose.
been saying that? Chris
Yeah.
Basnett?
Long time.
So easy. We hey no. Don't you remember? We could roll out of bed and get 9 wins.
Sure.
Don't you remember that talking
Oh.
point? We could roll out of bed and win
Yeah,
9
anybody
wins.
can do it.
My first year on
That was the Bo
beat-
Pelini
Oh
thing.
my god! My first year on the beat covering Nebraska football was the year they won. They went to the Music City Bowl
Okay.
and beat Tennessee. Or did not. They definitely did not. Beat
no,
Tennessee.
they did not.
Yeah.
Derek Barnett.
Derek Barnett
Alvin
wrecked a lot of
Kamara.
lives that day.
Hey,
yeah.
Brandon Riley had a couple tutties.
Yeah.
Shout out to our
And,
boy.
and so they do that. I go to Bloomington, Indiana 2 days before the bowl game and watch Nebraska basketball beat Indiana in Bloomington. I drive to the bowl game. Nebraska's got 9 wins. They're playing Tennessee. And I'm like, oh, shit, this is going to be so sweet.
Not.
No. Didn't see a bowl game. They didn't even come close the rest of the time I was on the beat.
Riker just played so
Oh,
good. That's
Riker.
a Nebraska
Five.
kid.
Grand Island, Nebraska.
Yeah.
The Islanders.
Grand Island. That's what we need. That's the type of quarterback we need.
You need a 6'5" guy that runs a 6'5" 40 from Grand Island, Nebraska to play quarterback.
You need a quarterback who can run the same 40 as his height.
Yeah.
Yes.
If you don't have that, you don't got nothing.
Hey, he's
Imagine if Dylan Raiola was 4'5" and ran a 4'5" 40, but still had like the cannon arm. It'd be like a creative player in the college game.
Like Kyler Murray.
Yeah, it's like literally like Kyler Murray. That's exactly that would be. Imagine Kyler Murray is
If-
what I meant to say.
I could
That'd be sick.
I could be really mean and say I wish Dylan's 40 time was the same as his weight,
Oh.
240. 240.
How dare you?
Bad,
bad.
Jared. Bad.
No, he's too skinny now.
It's too
KB,
skinny.
do we have any comments in the chat? Anything worth addressing?
Justin, a longtime listener, says no, it doesn't necessarily contradict what Matt had said about Ives. You need at least 3 running backs no matter what. That being said, I'd say Chamar is RB2 game 1.
No doubt.
Yeah.
Agreed to that.
Yep.
It would just be interesting because, like we said, Mike's been a big shoving down the throat,
Dude.
Quentin Ives,
And Emmett, Emmett literally went and almost went in the portal type stuff. And then it's like, oh, we're not going to get into the running back. We've got Quentin Ives. We're good.
Yeah.
And then we go get another running back. Now, how does Emmett feel?
Yeah, exactly.
They got a guy that actually has produced way more than Emmett,
How does Quentin feel?
but they have not got him yet.
How does,
Let's make that clear.
how does
They have
Connor
not got
Booth
him.
feel, guys?
Yeah, how does
can
Connor-
we talk about Bishop Newman's Connor Booth, Wahoo, Nebraska?
Hey, next
Who?
Rex Burkhead.
Hey, by the way, that dude's pretty good.
Okay.
Well, listen, we'll see in a couple of years.
Yeah.
But
God, I hope so.
I hope so too.
could you imagine if Connor Booth was like a 1,500-yard rusher? Like
That'd
what
be
this
sick.
fan? What,
Oh, that'd be crazy.
it would mean Nebraska's pretty good, first of all.
Yes.
But it like running back from Wahoo, Nebraska, like running for 1,500 yards and like 20.
Count me in.
tutties. Could you imagine the fan base?
Swing.
The pants tent capital of
Again?
the world.
Well, Chris has got me going tonight.
Oh God.
Damn. We got to have Chris more often.
Maybe never again.
Maybe never
Maybe
again.
never again. I'm on my second beer, so keep talking.
Hey,
We'll see.
hey,
We'll
this
see.
is Chris's vacation. We're just
Yeah.
enjoying it.
I'm trying to show him a good time. That doesn't even count. It's like being in Las Vegas. I will speak not a word of this when I leave this building.
What
That's fine.
happens at NBNR?
That's right.
Okay. The next thing that I think is kind of fun. Hopefully it's fun.
Oh, let's have fun.
We
It's
can
all
have
fun.
fun.
We can have fun.
Rugby punting. Is that fun?
Oh, super fun.
I
Mike
love it,
Eckler's
dude.
fun,
Yep. That dude's
right?
Yeah.
Aussie punt. Hello.
Hello, love.
Is that right?
The
I point the ball and I run,
not and not that you need more potential for disaster with Nebraska's punting game,
Thank
but
you.
like the
Thank
rugby
you.
thing is like a total recipe. Like if you F that up, like it looks so bad.
And
Like it
yeah.
looks, and again,
Have you seen
Yeah.
what we
No.
had before?
yes, a net
It
punting
looks
average of like 17 is also pretty bad.
So bad.
I've seen a punt go
Backwards. Caleb Lightboard.
Stop! Don't name names. Be nice.
How about
nice
how about
to
that
Caleb.
onside kick? Speaking of kicks,
That
went
was
back.
sick.
Oh, yeah.
So sick. That was actually sick.
And this is where I insert the GIF
Yeah.
right here. I have a GIF of that saved
And
on
you're
my
going
phone.
to. You're definitely going to.
Yeah.
I like the rugby putting.
I do.
I mean,
Sure.
Why
I mean,
not?
Sam
Nothing
Bolts,
else has worked.
he did that a little bit. Alex Henry did that a little bit.
Mhm.
I think Maher did it a little bit. Like
Sure, dabbled.
he dabbled. Like
Those are 3 of our nicer punters that
Like,
we've had.
we used
Nice
to be
with
punter you.
Nice
Just
with
I don't care if they punt it freaking with both feet.
Yeah.
Just
That would actually also be super sick. Like if you could roll out either way and kick it with either foot.
Yeah. I don't care. Just
Just kick it
freaking kick the ball.
and let your team go down
Yes.
and cover.
And don't let special teams be a detriment.
just be competent.
Yes.
Yeah,
Suck less.
Just be there.
Just
Suck
be
less.
there. Just like
Which is
return
hey,
a punt.
tell Mike Eckler that. Hey, Mike Eckler, have your unit just be there, please.
Can you just
What do
be
you think,
there?
What do you think he'd say to
He'd
that?
stuff me in a locker,
Yeah.
first of all,
Oh,
is what
yeah.
which he might just do anyway, because that's Mike
Hey.
Eckler.
Hey, Mike Eckler.
Yeah.
Blair, Nebraska.
Blair, Nebraska. The Blair Bears. Shout out Blair.
K-State product,
Go
though.
purple and white.
He went to the K-State Big 8.
Now imagine if he was wearing that Nebraska uniform with like the neck roll like he had, the
That'd have
cowboy
been sick.
collar,
And
the
the
eye
smeared-
black, and the mohawk.
Would have been a legend.
He would have been like the greatest linebacker in Nebraska history.
Yep.
How many times are you going to get me?
Like Nebraska's version of Brian Bosworth. Like
I almost said, is
Yeah.
he so hard?
That's exactly what he would have been.
Give him a little bit of steroids.
Well, yeah. Imagine if he would have had the Husker power, the '90s Husker power,
Hey, Boyd Epley.
anabolic
Boyd.
Husker
Get him
power.
out.
Boys, I'd like to introduce you to Mike. I'd like to introduce you to Mike's left butt cheek. Here you go.
Might get a little bit of his eye black on you, but
That's fine. You know what? That's fine.
okay. It's just okay.
Just, you guys shake hands. I'm just gonna leave the room. Mike, buddy,
I see nothing. I hear nothing.
I know nothing.
I know nothing. I just get to thinking if the rugby punting goes wrong with anyone, it's
cares?
going to be us.
Well, yeah.
It's gonna look like a fucking Three Stooges sketch.
It already looks like that.
Have you not seen
I
the
know.
part like where we have the up man on the wrong side and they just come right through.
I would like to see exciting and bad rather than boring and bad.
Fair.
I like it. I like
Yeah,
it.
if you're gonna be a shit show, at least
least
make me kind of laugh a
Let
little.
let the
you
punter
know, or-
run a little. Let the potential for him like tripping over his own feet.
No,
Like,
run
just
for a
falling-
first down.
Yeah, or run for a first down.
Well, you
like
know-
Illinois did like
Yes.
7 times in that one game.
That's what I was gonna say. That's what it reminds me of the Illinois game that Nebraska ended up winning, and I remember the rugby style punt that they had, and someone tipped it. I forgot who. Maybe Phelan Sanford. He was
Probably
where's he from?
Bankelman. Shout out Duncan County Stratton.
Boom! That's a new one.
We need a counter. We need like a little ticker that says how many cities
Yep.
in Nebraska or towns in Nebraska did we say in this episode?
It probably wasn't even Phelan. It was somebody else. It was some
Probably,
other
yeah.
white guy from Nebraska.
From
But
from Mitchell. I don't know.
we said Mitchell, yeah.
Gothenburg.
Gothenburg.
You know, the only thing I want out of a punter is like a personality.
Yeah.
I want somebody out there
Cool.
like hitting the guitar when they pin it deep.
Like that
and
dude from Miami that was like 38 years old.
Yes.
Down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I want a personality that can just go out there and just be a star.
But
Sam Foltz.
Yes.
Dude had personality.
Yeah.
Could also kick the ball about 50 yards every time he did it.
right, and
Yeah.
that's the thing. If you're gonna be like that, you got to be good.
Yeah.
You can't punt it behind you.
Well, you either got to be really good or you got to be like really bad. Like, and there's no in
there.
between.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Nebraska brings out their punter. Everybody hold your breath.
I mean, that's basically what it's
I
been.
mean, that is what it has been.
Yeah.
So,
Justin threw in a $5 super chat. Says,
Hey.
great show, guys.
hey,
Thank
thanks,
you.
Justin.
Wow.
We appreciate you.
Appreciate
and he says the rugby style guy from Boise State in the portal uses both feet.
Hey, down.
Is that who he wants? Is that
Down.
who Eckler wants?
How much money we got left in the NIL?
He's an
thing?
anamorph. I'm in.
Yeah.
Well, I think punters go for like $5 in NIL
Well, give him
these
give him
days.
250.
Yeah.
At least.
He's amphibious.
He's
He's-
amphibious.
Yep.
Yeah.
He's an anamorph. He's on Goosebumps.
Stop.
I want him. I want that.
I want that. Jesus, I see what you've done for other people, and I want that for me. God, that would be so incredible. I'm a beer and a half in. And I'm like daydreaming about ambidextrous punters.
Yeah.
Just imagine.
Is this how it goes every week with this podcast? You just
It depends on the guest. You know?
Sure.
Yeah. Just imagine.
What could have been.
What could have been?
I mean,
I'm gonna be so mad if they don't get the Boise State punt.
Listen
yeah.
here.
Now I'm gonna be really
Hey,
pissed.
put the camera on me. Hey, 1890. Pony up. Get that pony from Boise State.
Yeah,
He uses
Hey.
both feet.
that was good.
Pay him as much as Dylan. Is that what we're saying? Huh?
Whoa.
Pay him
Well,
more. Pay him more.
Pay him more.
Hey, pay him as much as Nico's getting now.
I don't. Oh, geez. I don't
Wow.
see Dylan throwing with both hands. Do you?
Sure don't.
Hmm?
You're getting
Hey.
you're getting a steal.
Hey,
if you get an
speaking of local
ambidextrous, dude.
talent, there is that Nebraska guy that was here that threw with both arms.
Oh yeah, Pat Vendetti.
Well, no.
Oh.
The quarterback.
Oh
from
yeah.
Bellevue or
Oh,
whatever.
Mikey Gal.
Yeah.
Mikey
Yeah.
Gal went to IMG for like 5 minutes and then
Yeah,
came
that
back.
was sick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was sick. He
That's
could throw
it.
with both
He
arms.
could- both arms.
Both arms.
Maybe we pay him double the NIL.
That's crazy.
You're getting a steal if you get a ambidextrous dude.
Yeah.
You're paying for twice as much but at the same price.
Oh no!
It's like going to Costco for a punter.
Yeah.
He dropped the ball and the punt got blocked on the right side. I guess we'll try the left this time. See if that works.
Yeah, why not? Oh, I ran for a first down.
Hey.
Awesome. Found
Hey.
something.
I remember Brian Buschini throwing the best pass of the second half of the season.
I was in the
versus
north end
Rutgers.
zone for that. That was sick.
That was awesome.
Yeah.
Hey, I don't know.
Hey.
I don't know. Brian Buschini.
Brian Bush.
Brian Buschini. Listen, you know,
not going to be on a NFL roster. Maybe
Australian.
Hey, I need a new UFL guy to follow. Adrian went to the NFL now, so I don't have a guy.
Yeah.
Brian
Brian
Buschini. That's it. That's the guy.
Brian Buschini.
Yep. He's
Hey.
like 34, has a
Yeah.
401k.
Yep. Punting for Birmingham.
Down.
Making like $48K a year. to
Down.
punt for Birmingham.
Hey, Heinrich Harburg from.
Carney.
What are your thoughts on him being the tight end? Now, I'm only asking that because I'm kind of being not a contrarian, but I'm wary, right?
Because
you're
the
hearing
kid from Pavilion's better.
Lindenmeyer.
Wow.
Well, look, I'm not going that. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, you're hearing good things, of course. Kool-Aid season. Heinrich Harburg is
Yep.
catching balls. He's scoring tutties.
He's looking good out there. He's in the
He's-
best shape of his life.
First in, last out.
Yep. Lunch pail.
Jim Rat, coach's son,
In the film room.
White.
Dad played for Nebraska. White.
Well, I'm just. Am I wrong to be like a little bit just? Can we?
No.
You know, not saying he's going to be bad, okay? But I think people out there are thinking like 30 receptions. And I'm like, bro, hold on.
Tight end is such a weird position.
It is.
Right. And look, Henrik Harburg is an unbelievable athlete. I don't think I'm not going to
No
break
doubt.
any news by saying that. Like he won how many games as a starting quarterback when he probably should have never been a starting quarterback, you know? That tells you how good of an athlete he is. But it's such a weird position because how often is the tight end the number one guy in the route tree?
Right.
You know, but could you split him out wide? Yeah. Could you line him up in line and have him block? Yeah. Do you motion him into the backfield, make him an H-back? Yeah. I might be talking myself into him. While
Yeah, you know what?
I'm trying to agree.
I'm good.
Point.
Can he come out and do a little wildcat still?
Well, and here's the thing. Do you motion him into the backfield and snap it to him and he throws a little something to Dylan on a little wheel route?
No, Dylan's not catching the football.
Well, no, he's not.
Not a chance.
No.
Dylan is out there and he goes straight to the sideline.
Yeah, he's right. He's off the field. Yeah.
Wide back.
But
Wide back.
Wide back.
the point being, it's just like you can be a great athlete and be a tight end, and you might only get 15 catches in a year,
right?
And unless you're George Kittle or some of these guys we see in the NFL now, it's just such a weird position, and especially if Nebraska's receivers are good as they like to say they are, and how much that room's improved over last year. There's only one ball. It's the old cliche. There's only one ball. You know, you're going to throw it to Heinrich 40 times and hope he catches 30 of them. That's a lot of targets for a dude that's never played tight end before.
Right.
In a year where you need to win a lot of games. So
there's definitely like a lot of design that goes into tight ends too, that you have to design. Like Travis Kelce is like, he looks like one of the slowest, oldest dudes on the field. And somehow he just ends up just wide open.
He finds a pocket.
Yeah.
But is Henrik Heiberg Travis Kelce?
No.
Like, you're not designing plays for Henrik Harburg.
Right.
I mean, maybe one or two.
And you say that, and one of the things that you hear about Harburg is you gotta have him on the field. You cannot waste that amount of athleticism by keeping him on the sidelines. You have to find ways to get him on the field.
I disagree.
And so, okay.
I'm just saying, like, I want my tight ends to play tight end. I want my receivers to play receiver.
And that's
we had the conversation last year.
Yeah.
Is Heinrich Harburg better than your wide receiver number one? No. Is
God,
he better
I
than your
hope
wide
not.
receiver two?
God,
is he
I
better
hope
than
not.
your tight end one? Is he better than your tight end two? Is he better than your running back? Is he better than your quarterback?
Yeah.
He's in this weird.
He's a tweener.
He's a tweener.
Purgatory.
I just don't know. Is he better than Mac Markway or Mark Mackway?
Mac Markway.
Yeah, one of those guys. Like, is he better than Lindemeyer? I don't know. Like, I think I'm not discrediting his athleticism. I think he's a great athlete. But I think sometimes, maybe Matt Rule's a victim of this. Sometimes, maybe Heinrich Harburg is loved because he's a Nebraska guy. And we have to find a way to have that Nebraska feel-good story in our offense. Now, I hope I eat my words, and I hope he's just a fantastic tight end and produces more than Fedoni did, all that stuff. I hope. But
and I think Matt Rule is falling into the, like, hey, this guy went to battle for us.
I agree.
When Dylan wasn't here.
Yeah.
And like, he stuck around the program when he could have left, and he's just a great kid. So, like, let's find a spot for him. He's a great athlete. Let's try to squeeze him in somewhere. And something I've brought up in the past is, like, especially in the NIL era, is like making promises to staff, to athletes, like, hey, you're going to be starter, or like we promise you're going to play, or you're going to have a big role here. And then it just, like, doesn't work out. So, like, I don't know, have promises been made where, like, hey man, we're gonna get you in here. We're gonna make sure that you get to stay and play, right?
Three touches. How many?
Yeah, like how many touches do you get him a game?
Right.
I don't know.
Right. He's, to make a basketball analogy, he's like the 6'5" guy that can't handle the basketball.
But he can shoot.
But
maybe
he was a great post player in high school. Can he step out and shoot a 20-footer? Maybe.
He's not Cale Jacobson. That's all I gotta say.
Well, who is?
I mean,
shoot. That dude's from
Ashland.
Right.
Hopefully that
drove through Ashland on my way here today. They had the statue of Cale Jacobson, like, going up outside of town. It was beautiful.
Sick.
It was sick.
Please tell me
I'm joking.
Okay.
As far as you know.
Well, listen.
Maybe I'm not.
I don't know, man. I don't know what these people anymore, man. He's got a statue with the crown on him. It's gonna happen.
Shadir got a statue. Who knows?
Yeah.
Everybody
retires jersey first game next year. Cale Jacobson jersey retirement ceremony. Could you imagine? I would throw something through my television. And I like Cale. He's a good kid.
Hey, should Bryce Williams have his jersey retired?
Too early.
The most poverty basketball program of all time.
Too early. Too
Okay.
early to say.
Teron Lue has his jersey retired.
How long did that take? 30 years?
It did.
Yeah.
See, now,
And probably the best player in school history, or one of the 5 best for sure.
most well known, at least.
Yeah.
Didn't win a tourney game. Just
No,
didn't win a
anybody else.
championship either.
Well, he also did. Teron Lue won an NIT.
Oh,
Still took him
same
30
thing.
years to get his jersey retired.
I still think it's important to clarify when we say jersey retired,
They're not the
Not
number.
their number.
You can still wear
Right.
the
No,
number.
just hang in the
Just
rafters.
hang it in the rafters.
put the name up.
How about Casey? How do you feel about Casey?
Wow. Have you seen my Twitter account from like the last 3 years?
Yeah.
Oh, it's like just constant K-Say pornography, basically. I should show you my phone.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
I don't actually have K-Say
This is-
pornography, but I might as well have a K-Say folder on my phone because I have pretty much every meme.
This
Just
is as X-rated an episode as we've ever had.
like, look,
No,
I'm gonna show
Gary
these to
Saddlemeyer
you.
exists.
Like, I'm just gonna start going. Like, there's K-Say.
Yeah, with the Jordan. Yeah.
Well, all you fuckers go to hell.
Oh my god, that's good.
There's K-Say with a parental
Personal.
advisory, explicit content. Try to be showing these to the camera.
Yeah.
There's K-Say. He's coming. Yeah, with the close up of his face.
Coming.
Um,
You still have these saved too.
there's- oh yeah, I've got all these saved.
Hey, you
Yeah,
know what? This is really
that's one of my favorites. I'll show that one to the.
this is
camera.
great timing.
Nebraska.
Hey, you know why?
Because Steph Curry wore
Steph
shoes.
Curry
Steph,
wore.
how about that? The Sakuras.
What's up with that?
How about this
Do you
one?
have the Casey
Oh my
shoes?
Of course, I've got every pair.
No, you don't.
No, I don't.
Okay.
There's the on the Michelangelo, touching the finger of Michelangelo.
Amazing.
Yeah, I've got there he is
Oh,
flipping off the
flip 'em.
Penn State fans, which
Yeah.
is probably my favorite. I got that.
He
random
looks
for
like
some
a guy that's like showing pictures of his kid.
Hold on, no.
It's his T-ball.
Here's
game.
how dad interested.
That was my favorite.
Yeah.
He got it. No, this is just Casey.
This is just Casey.
He overlays Casey's face on his kid's face.
So Casey.
Look, I'm not saying I haven't thought about that.
Yes or no?
No, I mean at the end of the day, he's a dude that averaged 15 points a game.
Yeah.
But
Never won a
if,
tournament.
if Nebraska wins a tournament game in the next year or two, guess who was a big part of that?
Casey.
Because he was a dude that came. I mean, we kind of switched courses here, but that was a dude that came in
We
here
did.
and took zero shit from anybody and was fearless. He played in a way that was completely different than any other player has ever played for Nebraska basketball.
Yep.
In the last 35 years.
100%.
Because he came in, he was fearless. He didn't back down from anybody. He didn't find a shot he didn't like. He didn't take any shit. You know,
Yeah.
like you need dudes like that. Like when you're Nebraska, you need dudes that are going to say, I don't give a shit what happened here the last 100 years, 110 years. Like I'm here to ball out. And look what happened when he was a senior. They get him, they go on that great run. They get to the tournament. They ran into a buzzsaw in Texas A&M. I was at that game, by the way. And I have a hilarious story.
We
about
did a
it.
live show in Memphis.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Wow.
we thought Johnny Manziel was going to stab us on the bar.
Yeah, that too.
We sat like my wife and I sat like 8 rows back from Johnny Manziel.
He was fucked up.
Oh, I don't doubt that.
He was.
When is he not?
Right. But he's apparently sober and all
Well,
these things.
yeah.
Yeah. No,
So-
he's not.
My wife had a couple of drinks. She's probably going to kill me for telling this story.
Oh,
but,
this is a good story.
my wife has become in the last few years a big Nebraska basketball fan, in
Atta
large
girl.
part because of Casey.
I had a girl.
There you go.
Which is another thing you have to take into
Right.
consideration, how many new fans he brought. And we're sitting, section over like 8 rows back, have a couple of drinks at the game as one does.
Yeah.
Sure.
You're out on Beale Street before as one does.
Yeah.
When you're in Memphis, we go to the game, doesn't go well. And Johnny Manziel's doing the Johnny Manziel stuff. He's talking shit to everybody with, doing this and what. And he had like some Nebraska guys sitting like right. It might have been you guys for all I know. But,
No, we were up top.
Oh, but he's like talking like Nebraska fans are starting to leave late in the game, and he's, where y'all going? And just whatever. And my just out of nowhere just goes, bam,
Boom!
bam. And he's looking right at her. Like he's making eye contact with her. And he goes,
Wow.
and he just like laughed. I mean, it's Johnny Manziel. He's
Yeah.
fucking seen everything. So he just like laughed and turned around. So sorry to my wife for telling that story, but I just made you a hero to the entire Nebraska fan base.
Nasty woman. Nasty woman.
No, so that's my Johnny Manziel.
Yeah,
we saw him in the bar.
Yeah, he was surrounded by
Sure.
goons.
Well,
He
yeah.
was. I think
Unsurprising.
Yeah.
we thought he was going to shank us.
Yeah, we seriously thought he was gonna
He was
turn around
going
and
to.
Like he was
He was
twitching.
going to.
He's kind of twitching. He had
Yeah.
the eye thing going, and
boy.
Yeah. That's when we learned. We're not gonna go over and take a picture with him. We're just gonna let him.
You know what? If Nebraska wins a tournament game, that will be me in a bar in Boise, Idaho.
just twitching and
just twitching, like my eyes blinking. Like, what's wrong with that dude? No, he clearly has followed Nebraska basketball for the last
He's a
40
sicko.
years. He's a sicko. I'm a total sicko.
show him the shirt. Show him the shirt.
oh, you're going to love this
Oh,
shirt.
boy.
I mean, if you're as big a Nebraska head as you say you are,
Oh, I am.
you got to know this. You got to know that.
Oh my God, that's a classic. Yeah, Danny Nee, Dead Dog Alley. They'll dig at Norm Stewart from back in the day.
That's right.
The glory days.
The glory days.
I mean, considering when you went to the tournament 4 years in a row.
Yeah.
Those teams were so sick though. Like 94 points a game.
Like Nebraska sick, but yeah.
He had likable players.
Likable players. Coach was a total asshole, but like
Loved it.
They scored 95 points a game. They turned it over like 20 times a game. It was amazing.
High flying.
Eric Piatkowski.
Hey,
Let it fly.
Let it fly.
And now they have all these guys, all these alumni come back to do these shooting contests in front of all the fans at PBA, and they all suck.
Well,
except for Eric Piatkowski. Do you remember that one from 2 years ago?
When he made a half court
shot. And
yeah, I was there.
I was too. And the funniest thing was he won a round trip ticket to Houston.
Yeah,
on that Redway airline.
The LNK.
Yeah, dude that played in the NBA for 17 years has definitely never been to Houston. Like he's totally gonna love.
We're gonna take you too.
Yeah, here's an $80 flight.
He had
Houston.
two choices for vacation. He could have gone to Houston, or he could have gone to the MBNR studio.
Well,
you chose the studio.
I would have gone to the Houston. I went to the studio. Yeah, myself.
I don't feel like getting my shot blocked by Hakeem Olajuwon again. Anything else?
I mean, we're at 57 minutes.
Okay.
All right. I think good time for Chris.
Yeah.
I think this is where you talk a little bit about what you do, what you write about, where people can find you, how they can, pay those paywalls and read all your shit.
Please, God,
all that stuff.
Please pay the paywall. So I work for the Lincoln Journal-Star. I am the assistant sports editor, prep editor. I used to cover Nebraska athletics. I am washed up now since I've had a son from 2016 to 2022. Covered Nebraska football, basketball, baseball. I now cover high school stuff, as we've kind of alluded to here. I post ridiculous stuff during Nebraska basketball games.
Love that.
As evidenced by my Kisei pornography on my phone.
One of your tweets was the reason I even emailed you. I was like, oh,
incredible.
He's a sicko. I'm in.
I'm a total Nebraska ball sicko. I have been for 30 years.
All those Casey pictures, they're in your hidden album, aren't they?
It just says file on my phone. Like there's not even a name for it. I won't even let my wife.
Math stuff.
Honey, you've been out of college for 25 years. Why do you have a folder called math stuff?
Forever learner.
Yeah, I'm a forever learner, babe. Just let me go. Let me do that. No, yeah, journalstar.com. Go pay the paywall. Daddy's got to eat. Daddy's got to get Nebraska basketball tickets when they make the tournament.
Cheap bastards.
Pay. At Chris Basnett, LJS on Twitter. I'm also on Blue Sky, if that's your preferred method of social media-ing. I don't even know what my handle is on Blue Sky, but I'm on
Chris Basnett, Blue Sky.
Blue Sky. You should.
I mean, we do technically. We just don't use it,
but we own that handle just in case.
Yeah, I've done like 5 posts on it.
Okay.
So
Hello World.
That was actually one of them. Yeah,
and it was the default post.
There's probably like a Kisei meme on there. I would probably guess. I don't even know, but yeah.
Hey,
check me out.
But okay, just real quick. Do you think he's gonna make an NBA roster? You think he's gonna?
Dude can shoot.
You know what I mean?
Analytically, yeah. If you're looking at it from a purely analytical standpoint. And we kind of saw this with the Houston Rockets a couple years back where they were totally analytic based and we're going to shoot 50 threes a game. You could do a lot worse than sticking that dude in the corner and have him shoot 5 threes a game.
He just can't cover a call.
He just can't. No, he couldn't guard me. No.
Right.
And so that's the issue. But how many dudes have been able to make a living off of just being a shooter? Do you think Eric Piatkowski was guarding Jordan back in the day? And I love
Kyle Korver was a freaking...
and I love Pike, and Kyle Korver was a hell of a player.
Yeah.
The lateral movement is probably not there.
It's lacking.
Kyle and Pike is lacking slightly. And he's also 5'10", 5'11".
Right.
Kyle
Korver is 6'7",
which is that helps wingspan, length. That's the thing that's going to keep him out, is that he's too short. I mean, at the end of the day, he's as good a shooter as probably just about any pro in the league. He'd be a top 10 shooter in the league.
Steph Curry would not be wearing a shoe if he was a bad shooter.
Exactly. And look at what he's barely getting minutes in the G League,
Yeah.
And I mean, look at what he did in Lincoln. He was magic, right?
Mm-hmm.
And will he get like a 10-day contract someday? Probably. Some team at the end of the year we can sell a few tickets. Let's get Kisei up here. Let's let him jack it up from 20, 25, 30, flip some people off.
Make Chris Basnett happy. Make Chris Basnett happy.
Give me a new meme collection.
Yeah, man.
So will he make an NBA roster? Yes. Will he stick in the NBA? Probably not.
You know what? That's okay.
That's okay. You know what? You can go to Japan, probably make $500,000 a year.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Average 30 a game.
The problem is he found some chick in Lincoln, I think.
Well,
so,
that's the North Platte, I believe, is where she's
So
from.
there's another one.
There's another one.
Is she really from North Platte?
Yeah, she's from here.
She's from Nebraska
Yeah.
for sure. Yeah.
He's always tied to Nebraska.
He'll be coming back on like those Legends weekends. Like, and he'll be like the only dude from like that class that comes back.
I'm
Which will
down.
actually be amazing.
Yeah, I can't wait to watch him do the half court shots and actually make them.
Yeah. Like do the like shoot it and like spin around and like not watch it go in.
Yeah.
Like they did the 3-point contest last year.
See, Matt Rule, even Casey's getting his prospects from Nebraska too.
Hey, at the
Well, I was trying to think of
I know.
His recruit.
he's recruiting.
He's recruiting from Nebraska.
Yeah, there you go.
Hey, at the tournament game on the practice day, I was down there on the court, and he nailed that behind
Yes.
the back half court.
Yes.
Didn't even look at it.
Yep.
Yeah, he just tossed
Like,
it
yeah,
up,
I know.
and yeah, everybody's cheering, and he's like, "Yep, that's what I do."
Well, think
Probably
about,
in
like-
one take too.
Probably one take.
It was one shot.
And think about like the first. I'm sorry, I'm going to go off on Nebraska basketball again. Like the first.
Before you do that here.
Yeah, give me that crown, please.
Herbie says, "Wear the crap."
Yeah, give me that. Like think about the first 10 minutes of that game against
Silly.
A&M. Like when he came out, he hit like 3.
Yeah,
That was
man.
so much fun.
Yeah.
But nobody could miss. That was the
And
problem.
you're going like,
Yeah.
oh shit, like oh. But yeah, then like you said, A&M couldn't miss.
It's fine. It's fine.
Yeah.
It's not going to stay.
I'll leave that there. But like you kind of went, oh, he's got. And again, this goes back to that dude loves the stage, right? And we're like, we got a dude that loves the stage, and he's hitting shots in the NCAA tournament.
Sick.
So sick. And like they've got the crowd behind, like the biggest
Like,
Nebraska crowd ever at an
it's-
NCAA tournament.
It's going to happen.
It's gonna. And then Texas A&M hits like 13 threes for the first time since 2004.
fucking nom. The worst.
Nom.
Okay, we don't need because
Yeah.
we've
You know why? Because they have 0 players on their roster from Nebraska, except Nate Borkacher.
from
Oh, I don't know that one.
oh
How about that?
Aurora.
Aurora. How can I forget?
Boom roasted.
How
Let's
can I
go.
forget?
let's go, Mike. Good job, buddy.
Good
Let's
job,
go.
buddy.
And then to see Casey in tears. Oh,
That was sad.
That was tough.
I took that photo for her. That
There you go.
Yeah.
I took that.
Yeah.
captured the pain.
We were
Piece of
right.
shit.
We sat right next to the tunnel where they walked out. It's like, oh boy,
Yeah.
that's a tough one.
Him and Josiah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was a tough one.
Yeah. Josiah came on our show.
Good dude.
Casey would be a great guest. Someday
my
we need to
God,
get
could
him
you
when he's
imagine?
coming back for Thanksgiving or something.
I did I was on the first ever Zoom, the first ever interview that Casey ever did after he signed with Nebraska. And it was over Zoom because it was still the height of the pandemic. I'll never forget. He committed on Thanksgiving Day, 2020, I think is what it was. So shortly after that. And the dude knew, God bless him, he probably knew 30 words of English.
Yeah.
But he sat there and did a Zoom call for 10 minutes.
Go Big Red.
And that's what it was for 10 minutes.
Hoiberg.
I just come in.
Basnett.
Yeah. I come in, I shoot the ball. I shoot threes.
Go Big Red.
Go Big Red. Casey, how do you think you'll fit into this offense? Where do you want to take Nebraska? I just come in, I shoot the ball, I make threes, go Big Red.
Yeah.
And we're like, yes.
I love you,
Yes.
Casey.
Now, hey,
Casey.
if you would have been past guests that we've had, you might have tried to do like a little bit of an accent.
Well, it's
And I'm glad you didn't.
some of
Because-
us are professionals, others are not as professional.
That's good. Okay. Okay.
get out
Are
of
we
here.
good?
We're good.
Yeah. All right. NBNRpodcast.com. Every social media website
Blue
or
Sky.
app, including Blue Sky, I think. I'm pretty sure.
Sure.
Same handle, NBNR Podcast. That stands for no block, no rock. You know, we still have people that go, no rock, no ball. I'm like, stop. If you can't get the order of the name right, you don't know ball. Period.
Non-ball knower.
Indeed. And that, and if you're one of those people,
And it's for knowledge.
NBK. Yeah.
if you're one of those people, like send us super chats, but like
Stop.
don't act like you know ball. We good?
If you're one of those people, just stick to Go Big Red.
Stick to Go Big Red. Yeah.
I shoot threes.
I shoot threes, go Big Red.
I'm one of your hosts, Jared Hall.
Mike Delaware.
Kyle Byers.
Chris Basnett.
As always, beat Kansas tomorrow. Baseball. They're still playing games.
Hey. Win the spring practice scrimmage and don't get anybody who actually is going to play hurt.
UNL women's. Don't let Midland beat you.
Have some pride, for God's sake.
And GBR.